Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I often come down very early before work just to do an hour, and this Sparrow Hawk here is always around. It normally waits at the top of the lane, and as I come down it flies down across the van and onto the roof, and there it goes. Look, I can't keep up with these that fast. I think one day what I'm going to do is come down with my binoculars and just sit and watch, see what it does. Yeah, there's not many mornings I don't see. I think it's a Sparrow Hawk. I mean, it looks big, but there's not many mornings I don't see it's somewhere, and sometimes there's evidence of its kill as well. There's pigeon feathers all over the place. Right, let's get busy. I've got an hour or so. Right, bit nippy today. Let's start getting some of these guys in. What I've been doing over this past week or so, having completed the log stores, is just starting to move these. Now at first I did what I said. I put a board in the back of my van to protect the machines, and then I was filling this barrow up, taking it out, filling the van, putting 5 or so barrows in, 5 or 6, and then driving round, unloading them into the barrow, taking them round and stacking them. And I did that for one sort of shift, if you like, and then I thought, is it just as easy for me to barrow them up, you know, instead of handling them 2 or 3 times? You know, alright, there's a walk in the middle of it, but the good thing about that is when you stoop down like this, you only stoop down to fill a barrow, and once you've filled the barrow you can straighten back up, have a walk, stretch your back off before you have to restack them. So yeah, I've been coming down, and to be fair, I think it looked more daunting than it actually was. It's been quite good. All I've done is just got into the zone, switched off, up down, and kept going. But I've got a funny tale to tell you, and I'll tell you it when we get up the top with this barrow. It certainly tested my mettle. Right, let's get this shifted. The art to stacking is always keep ahead with your front wall. So get your front wall to a point like that, and then backfill as you go. And then when you get towards the end, fill all the back in and work back towards yourself. Anyway, onto that tail. Yeah, I came down yesterday and I thought, right, I'll get a few of these done. And you know, like I said before, sometimes you can come down and you're right in the mood, and other times you can't be bothered. Well, yesterday I sort of were in the zone, and I thought, right, we'll keep going. Anyway, I'll show you the progress I've made once I put this barrow in. And I thought, you know, I've done really well, and I seem to think that I had a little bit more energy in the tank, so I thought, do you know what, I'm going to keep going. until I get too tired. And that's exactly what I did. But the drama came towards the end of stacking these. And I was none too impressed. So, as you can see, I've made quite a good start and I'm sort of on my way with it. I did this lot in one day. I did half of this the following day due to time restrictions. But yesterday I came down and I did the other half of this one and filled this one. And at that point I still had a little bit in the tank. So I filled that one. Now, at the end of it, I felt really, really chuffed with myself. And I was tapping myself on the back and saying, that's good perseverance, Mal, that. You know what I mean? Switched off, got the job done, well done. And started to put the banner away and started to pack up. And I couldn't find my keys. I haven't got the keys. I looked all over, went right down to the bottom of the plot, looked down there, retraced my steps, even went back because I borrowed the banner off Barbara. Retraced my steps, thinking, oh, if I dropped the keys out of my pocket, but surely I'd have heard it. Anyway, I was really, really worried. I'm thinking, I don't know where they are. So I rung my business partner. I says, look, get on standby. You might have to come down and bring a spare key. And anyway, then I had this dreaded thought. And I thought, I'd filled that planter up there all the way to the top. And I thought, geez, I hope my keys are in bottom there. So, after looking everywhere, I thought I'm going to have to. So I had to decant all of that out. And sure enough, the keys were at the bottom. I've left the keys in the planter and just piled wood all over the top of them. But what I did was, I was cursing. What I did was, I threw it all out on the floor. And then I sort of like thought, well, if I've put the keys in here, I've got to just put them in one at corners. I won't just throw them in the middle. So I thought to myself, right, I'll get most of it out onto the floor, and then I sort of dug back and pulled stuff away to gain access to the corner. And sure enough, the keys were there. I thought, bloody hell. And as I say, I'd gone till my tank were empty. So that was the last thing I needed. So I had to, as you can see, I don't know if you can see it there. You can see there, the other side is sort of got a little bit in. All that came out of the planter one. And then I had to restack everything. I mean, I laugh now, but honestly, yesterday evening, I didn't find it funny. Right, off we go, let's get going. So yeah, besides that hiccup, I've really got stuck in, and I think I've got enough timber down there now. Logs, as I say, that one there, the far one there, that filled this. But rather than throwing it all back in, I filled that up there. So I reckon with what I've got left, it should fill that one, and it should fill that one, leaving that one spare for the rest of that once I get it all chopped. So completely emptied that store, and as I say, I'm halfway through that one. So as I say, that should fill two of those on the right hand side on the front plot, leaving a gap for the spare. But as I say, not as daunting as what I thought. But I haven't come this morning to do this, it's too chilly. I want to warm myself up. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting this fruit tree out here and getting that in the garden. If I can get that job done, I might be able to then, later on after work, for an hour before it gets dark, just come and do a few more barrows. But I'm hoping to have this knocked off by certainly by the weekend. Now, I believe that this is a plum tree. And I don't think this has been here 2 years. And to be honest, I don't think it's faring too well. So that might be due to the damp conditions yet again. Just loosen off round the sides. It's nowhere near as wet as further up, but nonetheless it is quite wet. Try and get a bit of a trench round it. Right, see if there's any sort of movement on this. Yeah. Got a bit of a buddleia roots intertwined with it. Looks like there. Now you can really hear the squelching under there. I think that's ready to come out. It's loose there, loose there. Just make sure it's loose here. Right. Let's give it a go. There we go. There's plenty of root ball there. I have no hesitation in thinking that that is going to be okay once we get it replanted. Right into the barrow. Let's take it away. So you can see there, the water's just settled in that hole, and that's what the roots are sitting in all the time. You know, even when we get, you know, a couple of weeks of dry weather, down there it's still damp. You can tell as well, this buddleia here, you saw how well the buddleia's performed on the top plot. Really big, bushy, what, up to 5 feet tall, be probably about 4 feet wide. That buddleia's never been pruned, and you can see the damp roots are what's holding that back. Buddleias don't like to be sat in wet. So I think these trees would have just been diseased or just given up the ghost. Right, let's get up to the top, see where we're going to put it. Rather than go up the middle of the plot, I'll just take you up this side path, and you can see how the water holds all the way up here and how squelchy and boggy it is. Look at that there. This is right behind the sun shelter, and as you go further on, look at this. This here is quite boggy. The rest there doesn't seem too bad. So this is where I'm thinking of taking this paving up digging a sump from here all the way up to where that little green plant pot is, and getting a load of, you know, rocks and bricks and all sorts in there. Now I've brought you up this way because this is obviously now the garden here and my shed, and I'm thinking, with this being like this here, putting that plum tree, if it is a plum tree, I'm sure it was, putting that plum tree here, will it be in the same position? I don't think it will, but I'm not going to risk it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it a little bit further over there, just to this side of the formium, because I've got a climber just there that's going to go along this fence. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. It's a lot better here, nowhere near as damp. That should be about right. There we go, that hole's a lot drier than where it's come from. So I'm going to stick a little bit of this mycorrhizal powder down there and on the soil, and hopefully give it a little bit of a boost. That's about right. I've got this honeysuckle here. I've got that to plant yet. That was at the front of the plot. And also, I want to take that honeysuckle that's down at the sun shelter area. I want to get that moved as well, even if it's just to go along the boundary fences. Right, let's hope that that grows. Give it a bit of a healing. And as Alan Titchmarsh says, one of the famous TV gardeners over here in Britain, whenever you plant a plant, you should say to it, grow, you bugger, grow. Right, get these gloves cleaned off. There we go, so fingers crossed she goes well there and produces loads of juicy plums. As I say, I need to sort that honeysuckle out, find somewhere for that to live. I might even put that down front and let it climb over top of the log stores. Just put it in front of the gate maybe and let it go up and across. We'll see. Well, that's it from me today, folks. I'm gonna get myself off to work, get the kettle on, get a nice cuppa and warm my hands up. Hopefully I'll be able to get back down here and sneak an hour before it gets dark today. Fingers crossed, depends how the day goes. But if you've enjoyed this video and you're watching for the first time, I'm Mal, known as the Veg Plot Man, here on my allotment in West Yorkshire. Hit the subscribe button, it'd be much appreciated. And obviously give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it too, because that does help the channel. And if you're really keen, you can hit the notification bell and that'll give you a notification when I upload another video. But from me, until the next time, thank you to all my subscribers, and I will see you over the weekend. Until then, take care, stay warm and happy growing.